Does the channel provide value?
Focus on the foundation.
I am a travel vlogger.
It's always about communication.
Build those partnerships.
What are the problems that you solve for your clients?
Just being ahead on the technological side of things.
Leading an organization.
You not only want to survive, but you want to thrive. They said it wouldn't last, and they said that you can't drive profitable and incremental revenue through the affiliate channel. But here we are, 20 years later, and the affiliate channel is alive and kicking and generating profitable revenue for thousands of retailers across the globe. Hi, I am Jamie Birch, your host of the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast, where we talk to some of the industry's best and brightest about their careers, about leadership, and about how to drive profitable revenue through the affiliate channel. Hey, this is Jamie with the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We have a really great episode for you. Just finished recording it. Now it's December 14th, just about to hit last ship date. Looking forward to January. You're probably listening to this in January. But we have Chelseah Murphy on the podcast from Wickfire. Before I get into introducing her, let me tell you about one of the resources we have. So a lot of times, well, right now you're looking at 2021, you're probably planning for it, and you're wondering, how can I increase sales and decrease my customer acquisition costs? Well, we put together a case study for you that does just that, shows you exactly how for one of our clients, and we do this for many of our clients, we were able to increase their revenue while decreasing their customer acquisition costs. You can go to JEBCommerce.com/acquisition cost to get access to that case study that walks you through exactly what we did. Now, Chelseah is at Wickfire. They are a SEM, a TM Plus affiliate. You're really going to find this podcast full of information. If you think affiliates aren't innovative, aren't doing a ton of work to attract customers, this is a podcast for you. If you have been dabbling in TM Plus with an affiliate, or you've been thinking about it, you definitely want to listen to this podcast. The things we go over are fantastic. They a lot of times people think, well, they're just a coupon affiliate, or, those things are said. Chelseah and Wickfire completely debunk all that. So if you really think affiliates aren't providing value, I want you to listen to this podcast. We go over the 3 different ways Wickfire can produce sales, what it's like to work with a Trademark Plus affiliate, how they can work with you directly and replace or augment your search, your SEM campaigns and efforts on an affiliate basis. So there's a lot of cost controls that are in here. We talk a lot about how to control the search engine results page and your brand and how it's showcased there. So this is a phenomenal podcast. Chelseah, thank you so much for joining me. Definitely listen to it. And I'm just going to get out of the way and let you guys listen to my conversation with Chelseah. Chelseah, good morning, and thank you for joining the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast. Super excited we're actually able to get this on the schedule. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm super excited as well. It's been a while coming, and I'm super excited to kind of bust some TM Plus reservations from a lot of people.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we originally talked in October. Now we're recording this on the 14th of December. And yeah, lots to do. How has your world been since October?
It's been decent, all things considered. Luckily, Wickfire was already 100% remote, so there wasn't that much of an adjustment. Our team was already kind of set up to be working remotely. We definitely all miss the conferences and everything and getting to see each other. But yeah, and then otherwise, just adjusting. I mean, we're in Southern California, so we're on one of the more stricter lockdowns. So, but it's been okay. I mean, we're healthy. We've got our jobs. We're good.
Good. Yeah. There's a different bar this year than in year past,
yes.
Right? Healthy, got a job. We're doing good. And same here. We did have, we are in day 9 of our quarantine. We had our second positive COVID test in our immediate family.
Oh, wow.
But my son got it in April.
Oh my gosh.
Our oldest boy.
That.
Yeah, he's 24, and he had it fairly bad, but did okay. And then my daughter tested positive last week, and my wife got a little sick. So I'll be honest, I was a little freaked out. I may or may not have panicked when I heard the news.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it's been a real mild case here. My son and I haven't had any symptoms. So so the last 2 weeks have been a little crazy for us. But again, we're blessed with being able to work from home. And our company went fully remote, I think in June, and got rid of our office, or put our office in storage. But you guys have way more restrictions down there. Has it been tough to adjust to that?
I was kind of already a homebody, but I definitely
you were made for this.
I was like, this isn't that bad. No, but I definitely miss going to work at a coffee shop, or seeing my friends. My friends I haven't seen since like last January. So
wow,
that's been the hardest adjustment. But like I said, we were poised. professionally for e-commerce, to just boom. So it's been good on that front, or okay.
Great,
anyway.
Great. Yeah, we've seen the vast majority of the verticals we operate in do really well digitally, but obviously there are a few. Travel is one, and some others that have been impacted. There's been some weird, maybe not weird, but unforeseen impacts in logistics and supply chain and manufacturing that have really kind of turned the screws on some of our clients. But overall, digital was made for something just like this.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, I think too, we've been talking about internally and, even with clients and everything, how this is going to have an impact on the future too. You know what I mean? A lot of people that were maybe less or apprehensive to do online shopping, are doing all of their online shopping for Christmas or the holidays online. So it'll be interesting to see, how this has a trickle effect in years coming.
Yeah, I've had a couple conversations on, do movie theaters, do they ever come back?
Oh gosh, I know.
I heard one of the movie houses is releasing everything through HBO Max.
Yeah.
Through all of 2021. So that'll be interesting. Were there any things that come up in that conversation of sort of like predictions of how this all kind of pans out?
Well, I think it's been really interesting to see because, we run on so many different verticals, pretty much like everything you can think of under the sun. Like we probably have a vertical for it, or we're running a coupon campaign. So we've been able to see the gamut, like how every different industry really has been affected, and the fluctuations in that too. Like, meal delivery was one of our top categories on Buyer's Guide. And we ran into the issue you were mentioning earlier, where it was, okay, stop pushing so much because we're, we're having logistics issues. So it's been really interesting. Or even with mattresses, like people normally go into the store, a lot of times, and that's been a huge shift. And just in general, I think it's, especially with the holidays, or, in Q2, it was just the biggest boom. Like we saw unprecedented numbers just because everybody was not wanting, not able to, or not wanting to go shopping in stores.
Yeah, one thing that I've seen is the smaller merchants, smaller advertisers, family-run businesses that sold online. They've had more interest, but have struggled because their systems aren't set up. Everyone, Amazon has ruined, in a way, e-commerce for everyone because they do so many things so well. You have such a high bar, in comparison. And so one of the things we're doing to start the new year is sort of a video series on helpful, here's things you need to do to make sure you level up and take advantage of this. Because I think there's there's a lot of movement to digital, and there's a lot of people who want to shop elsewhere, like the shop local movement. Let's help, everyone out. But people get really frustrated when they can't get communication with these smaller retailers, or shipping hasn't been figured out when there are really good solutions for that.
Definitely. Yeah. If there's, the way that Amazon has everything set up, it's very clear, the checkout process and everything, and very quick. It's definitely been, I think, and going to need to be an adjustment, but this is kind of maybe the push that a lot of advertisers, merchants needed,
Yeah. And I would really find it difficult to be in a advertiser's role right now as you plan for next year. Do you up your production capacity? thinking that that shift will hold, or does the vaccine come in and everyone goes back to shopping in brick and mortar? That's going to be a real big problem to tackle.
Yeah, definitely. The planning part of it, we're ready for whatever comes, but yeah, the planning part of it's going to be tough for a lot of advertisers.
Yeah. Well, Chelseah, for those of our listeners who aren't familiar with you and Wickfire, why don't you introduce yourself and how did you become an affiliate superstar? I'd love to hear more about your career path.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to say, like, a lot of people I've met a lot of people at conferences, but I've only been an affiliate for about 2.5 years. So I'm a relative newbie, but definitely seen how everything works out. I started off, I'll take it back a little bit. But yeah, I actually started my career in media planning. So that's going to be, purchasing. Well, back then it was a lot of out of home and TV spots and radio spots. And then I got to see kind of the shift into digital, which was really cool. And I remember having, countless conversations about how display advertising, how it was going to work, if it was going to be effective. And I was working for a large luxury automotive client at the time. So it was really challenging, to be able to say, like, oh, I just bought this, $6 million, $8 million, spot on the Super Bowl. How many cars did that actually sell?
Attribution.
And it was incredibly, it was fun to like have these huge budgets and have, this opportunity to plan everything. But I really got frustrated with like correlation, you know what I mean? Being able to say like, tying everything back to sales. But yeah, so I worked in media planning for quite some time, working on Lexus and Acura and then Hilton hotels for a little while. But like I said, I kind of was just like I'm a very analytical person. So I was like, how can I, be able to tie everything back and, prove my return on ad spend? So I took a gig working as an analytics manager for a small shop local to me, which was a definite change of pace. But I mean, I really got to see, the deep workings of how, you could optimize websites and optimize campaigns for conversions. And then I stumbled across Wickfire, which was the greatest blessing. It's been a fantastic opportunity, with the remote work, the flexibility that's been able to offer. And then also too, it's really filled the need for me to be able to tie everything I do back to sales, because that's really our business model. But yeah, I started off on the SEM side, working in the actual campaigns at Wickfire for the first year, and then got brought over to business development, which is where I started to meet all of our lovely affiliate people. And it's been fantastic. And I've been on this side of the business now, leading up the direct and coupon side of our company, which has been fantastic. And that's what we're going to talk about a little today.
Definitely. Was it difficult to go from something you had so much experience in the media planning and make that decision to go be an analytics manager in something completely different?
That was like a little bit of part of my job in media planning, with being able to put together dashboards and tie everything together. But I kind of just, I took a leap of faith a little bit and, really wanted to follow my passion and what I was interested in. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge, but I'm super glad that I did it.
Yeah. And I fell into affiliate work too. And one of the things in my personality profile is I need to know, I function well when the work I do, I can see how it impacts things. And so on the brand marketing side, I would really struggle because that correlation is, it's easier to show now, but it was really hard when I started, if available at all. So I definitely understand that need to see we did this and this happened. What in media planning, what are some of the things you learned there that have been really helpful for you in the affiliate side of things?
I think just knowing all of the potential opportunities that are, available, because I was able to see, all the various channels how they worked, how they affected the consumer process and everything, purchase process. And affiliate really wasn't on our radar at the time as much. It wasn't with cars. I'm sure if you looked at a media plan now, it would be like way different, with influencer marketing and everything. But yeah, with media planning, I'd say it kind of just opened my mind to the possibilities of how everything could work together. And that, everything is so important.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the things that's so useful in the affiliate space, because there's so much experimentation. There's so much innovation coming from this group.
Yeah, and it's never a clear path. The consumer purchase process is never like completely clear. Like there's so many different things that you got to check all those boxes. For brand awareness is incredibly important, but what's going to drive the sale at the end of the day?
Yeah, definitely, and that's a huge part of. And one of the things that affiliate marketing has kind of been saddled with is that attribution question. Yeah. And do they need affiliates? Do they not? That sort of thing. So tell me about Wickfire. Who is Wickfire, and what are the services that Wickfire provides from an affiliate perspective?
So like the quick elevator pitch, I've got like my line down for Wickfire. So,
all right.
We're a data-driven digital marketing agency, and we combine the broad reach of search engine marketing, SEM, with the win-win of affiliate, which is the pay for sale. So that's really us in like a nutshell. And there's so much kind of to elaborate on that. We're one of our huge differentiators is our passion for data. And making sure that, obviously the only way we're getting paid on all of these things is the sales that we drive. So everything we do is so rooted in optimizing for conversion rate, which obviously from what we've talked about just recently is super important to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of divide the business into three parts. So I think most people in the affiliate space are probably the most familiar with our review site, which as of 2 years ago now is buyersguide.org, but previously it was highlightreviews.com. With this channel, we really focus on kind of those consumers that are just starting the research process, looking for reviews, looking for additional content. We drive the paid search traffic to a ranked page. And it's been insane, the amount of growth that we've seen the past year. We really expanded. We have a partnership with Amazon, where we're able to get, those base commission rates, but we've really built that out because we've been partnering with specific advertisers now on those particular verticals. So we have categories like best lawnmowers, best mattresses is a big one. Leaf blowers, pretty much anything, air purifiers, like anything under the sun that you can think of, which has been a huge area of growth for us. And yeah, we can partner now with individual advertisers, to boost their Amazon sales, or if they want to drive traffic directly to their site. And we're bidding on that super pricey generic keywords. So it's a huge opportunity for a lot of advertisers, and something that we weren't doing 2 years ago.
Wow. So you're actually able to drive revenue directly for an advertiser's Amazon store.
Mm-hmm. That's part of what we're able to do, which is really cool. Like I've been telling a lot of people, we've become kind of a one-stop shop, because not only are we covering that part of the business, we can, dabble in Amazon a little bit if that's of interest for the advertiser, or we could, like I said, drive directly to the site. But then we've got, so that's review. And then we've got direct, which kind of takes the place of any in-house search team, or if they're working directly with an agency, if an advertiser is. It's a super cost-efficient strategy, right? So we're bidding on trademark name, so the brand name or product names, and then it's pretty much like a direct search campaign. But the main difference is we're not charging based on clicks. We're only charging on the affiliate model based on sales. So it's super cost-efficient for a lot of smaller advertisers, and I definitely see this booming, in 2021 when e-commerce is going to hopefully continue to keep growing. Yeah. And the third part, which we're going to be talking about, so I won't get into it too much, is the Coupon Co. So that's bidding on Trademark Plus terms, which we can get into in a sec. And yeah, driving traffic to our super impressive coupon site.
And is that coupon.co?
Yep. The coupon.co. We've actually tested. It's pretty funny. We tested like topcoupon.com or topcoupons.com, and we're like banking on it, right? We're like, oh, this is going to do so much better. But the brand recognition already with the Coupon Co is there. The performance was actually stronger on that URL, which is a surprise.
Data will always show you what's really going on, right?
Yep, that's how it is over here. Data wins. So
yeah, we had a client who sold T-shirts. They thought the user was hipsters who was wearing the shirts ironically. They were like three wolves howling at the moon type of shirts. When we really got into the Google Analytics, we found that the actual ideal customer, the people buying most and most often and most profitable, were 60 years old and up. And they were not wearing it ironically. They loved
it.
The three wolves howling at the moon. And so that data changed everything. All the creative, everything that they were doing changed dramatically. So yeah, you're right. Data is king. Okay, so
that's funny.
Typically, when an advertiser, we say a TM Plus affiliate, or if I were to introduce you prior to this call, that's how I would say it. And so, it's a TM Plus affiliate, and this is they're going to be able to bid on your Trademark Plus coupon terms typically. Mm-hmm. And so you're different because you have several websites that are ranked. That you use in your campaigns. You not only do the Trademark Plus, but you can do a full direct campaign on an affiliate model, and you have the review sites.
Yep. Yeah, that's a huge differentiator for us, because a lot of our other coupon competitors, that's their bread and butter. That's the only thing they can offer. But, what I tell a lot of clients now, agencies, and direct clients, is give me the opportunity and I guarantee we'll be able to find a way to work together. One way or the other, and they're not mutually exclusive either, the different channels that we run in. We have some advertisers where we're running in all three, and it's all through the network, super easy for them. And all they have to do is pay us for sales that we're driving. Gotcha.
So the current review site is buyersguide.org. Mm-hmm. And do you still have the, was it highlightreviews.com?
No,
or is that now?
That's gone now. Everything's been pushed over to Buyer's Guide, which has been a huge move, kind of similar to the test that we did for top coupons. We did something similar with Highlight Reviews and Buyer's Guide, and Buyer's Guide just blew it out of the water, which makes sense. It's a very catchy line. And yeah, we were even featured briefly in Good Morning America, which was huge. We were in the background. So
That's
that
awesome.
kind of just goes to show it's really grown, and we've enjoyed watching it grow.
So I want to through this conversation, I'm going to ask some really deep dive questions and some basic questions so that our listeners can get the best view of what you guys do and this category of opportunity in general. So buyersguide.org, if an advertiser wants to get in there, does that always include an SEM campaign to support their inclusion? Is that part of the deal or not? How's that work?
Not necessarily. Well, no matter what, it'll have an SEM component. But like I said, we'll be bidding on generic terms. So we don't necessarily need trademark approval. I think about 80% of the traffic that we do drive to Buyer's Guide is on generic traffic. So it's a good chunk that's actually just coming from, keywords that a lot of brands can't necessarily afford, on their own. Because we're able to make it work because we're driving to a page that lists, 10 other advertisers. So our conversion rate is going to be there to make it worth it for us.
And I want to highlight that for our listener. Two things that I hear a lot, I hear a lot of, well, those guys are just taking advantage of our brand that we built. But 80% of your traffic to buyersguide.org is from generic. And why that converts and that those terms work for you guys when it doesn't work for an individual advertiser is you've got a whole bunch of arrows in your quiver on that page, mm-hmm. so to speak. Instead of just that advertiser, that term can be profitable for you because you have many ways for the user to convert.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because especially since they're in a lot of times the research phase is what they're really looking for is a third party to be able to say, what is the best or what's the best for me. And one thing that we have that's really cool on the Coupon Co. and Buyer's Guide is whether it be the coupons on the page for the Coupon Co. or the merchants for Buyer's Guide, we have an algorithm that works through everything and provides an index for each either coupon or advertiser. And we look at click-through rate, conversion rate, average order value, overall interaction with that particular merchant or coupon. And that's how we rank our pages, which is really cool. So it's not, it's not just like a guessing game. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to throw this up here and, hopefully we see a high conversion rate on it. It's like, no, everything that we do is rooted in the data to make sure that the page is as optimized as possible.
That is fantastic. I am writing that down.
Yeah, it's fairly new. I feel like maybe like a year, who knows anymore. Could have been 2 years ago that we started doing that, a year and a half ago. But yeah, we were all super excited because before we were kind of just, it was a little bit more of a guessing game, but now everything's rooted in the actual data.
That's fantastic. So now on to the direct. Am I correct in saying that if I'm an advertiser and maybe I'm managing my own SEM in-house, and that's actually how I started as well. I actually started as a search engine guru. That was my first job title out of college.
Oh, cool.
And I got the SEM stuff on my plate as it happened with GoTo.com and some others. But so if I'm figuring out how do I optimize my SEM campaign, and I have maybe the option of hiring someone in-house to take it over, or looking at other agencies that typically pay a percentage of spend, I could also consider Wickfire. And you in the direct area, you take over the campaign in general. You will bid on anything, and the relationship is a performance basis. So the advertiser pays when orders happen and a percentage of those orders. Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's a cost efficient strategy for a lot of people, especially if, maybe it's a small shop and like, the marketing manager's handling the SEM as well and handling this and handling that. It might be beneficial, to at least test it out and see what kind of numbers we're able to show. And yeah. And like I said, it's really everything we do is at no risk to the advertiser because we're the ones that are really taking the risk because we're fronting the paid search costs, So if we launch a campaign and it just completely stinks, the advertiser's really not at any liability in any way because they haven't, spent a whole bunch of money on traffic that's not converting. So we're really the ones, and that's why we test out so many things. I always say like any advertiser pretty much under the sun, we're able to run a coupon campaign for, and direct as well. If they're not already running direct in-house, we can run it and then just kind of see what happens. Cause sometimes it'll be the ones that you're not expecting to perform that just blow it out of the water. So now when I was managing SEM campaigns, there were certain ad groups, certain keyword groups that we bid on and we wanted to be there. We knew it was top of funnel, or we wanted to protect our brand. So while the objective of getting new customers, increasing revenue and orders, those were goals. One of the other was to make sure that we protected our brand and we were top of funnel. If an average, I see a huge benefit in working with you, and especially in the performance-based relationship. But how do you handle keyword groups that the advertiser needs to be on, but they don't convert as high, and then they may not be profitable for you? How do you guys handle that? Sometimes what we'll do is we'll take a look at, since we do run so many different properties and so many different channels, like if we're able to onboard them for direct and onboard them for coupon and maybe onboard them for review, then we can take a look at that whole relationship. And who knows, maybe they might do really, really well on coupons, but direct for whatever reason, like the consumers just aren't converting on those terms. Then we can take a look and, if they really want us to continue running so that way they have the presence on direct, that's something that we can explore because we can look at the relationship as a whole. Gotcha. You have, unlike maybe another affiliate who just does TM Plus, you have multiple avenues for you guys to earn a profit as well. I mean, everyone on this chain has to earn, a profit for it to be a good relationship. So you have multiple things you can leverage. Definitely. Yeah. And a lot of times too, even like, the brand might not be as recognized or see as high a conversion rate, but we might feature them on Buyer's Guide because we have a killer relationship on the Coupon Co. So we'll take a look at all of that and kind of be able to be the best partner that we can be.
Gotcha. Now, as far as working with a non-affiliate centric SEM agency, there's a lot of data and reporting. Typically with affiliates, the only reporting we have is through the network. So do you provide any more analysis with a partner who you're working with direct? Is it slightly different than a typical affiliate, as far as the data?
So it'll kind of depend. I have a couple of clients that are big clients that's what they require. They want to know what our impression share is, what our absolute top impression share is, and everything. It kind of depends. I mean, we run over like 2,500 campaigns, so we obviously can't be doing that for everyone. But if it's a big enough brand, I think we can definitely provide that kind of reporting. But what we can do, kind of above and beyond just looking at what's available in the network is, especially on the coupon side of the business, we can provide insight into how the consumers are interacting with the page. You know what I mean? So I like to say that not only are we offering up sales on that vertical, but we're also able to provide kind of a snapshot of who their coupon audience is and, what they're going to be converting on. We can test out maybe a 5% off versus $25 off. And let's say at the end of the day, based on their average order value, it's the same dollar amount off. We can test those two different coupons and be able to say, for whatever reason, the consumers, we see a higher average order value, we see a higher conversion rate on this 5% off. So then the marketing person, on the, agency side or on the client side can take that information to the rest of their team, and then they can blow out that messaging on email, or they can blow it out on social. So it's kind of cool. And that's definitely a huge differentiator of ours outside of just, providing what the network is able to provide. But if a lot of times, I'm a little soft when it comes to that. So if I get a request to do it, a lot of times if I see an opportunity, then I can usually pull some reporting.
Gotcha. Well, we will take note. And I didn't hear you tell me to edit that out, so we'll leave that one in there. What I love about what I've heard so far is there's so much talk since I started, and I've been doing this for 21 years. And we've always combated the same discussion. Affiliates really aren't adding value. They're just taking advantage of coupons. We haven't even talked to coupons. I feel like you've blown that out of the water. So for our listeners, if you feel and you are combating the argument of affiliates not providing value, not earning the commission, listen to the last 15 minutes of this podcast. This is one affiliate that's doing some amazing work and provides a lot more avenues for you to do things, just like that testing you talked about, Chelseah. That is phenomenal to be able to do at scale and learn quickly. I know when I was at Coldwater Creek, we always tested a free shipping versus a $10 off. And we're always surprised that our consumer knew how expensive shipping was at the time, yet they still chose the smaller absolute value offer time and time again. And that being able to test that outside of just your organic audience is really, really valuable. So that's really some awesome stuff. So we've talked about the review site. We talked about direct. Now, the main thing we wanted to chat about today, halfway through the hour, and we're getting to it. Talk to me about what is TM Plus. How does that wrap into Coupon Co? And if I'm an advertiser, I know nothing about this, what's the explain it like I'm 5 kind of description?
Definitely. So you're going to hear TM Plus thrown around a lot. I feel like everyone's just like TM Plus, automatically assuming that everybody knows what it is. But what it is Trademark Plus. So that's bidding on a brand name or product name in combination with other keywords on, Google, Bing, and their search partners. So whenever someone asks oh, can I bid on, TM Plus, or, oh, this is a TM Plus partner, what that means is you're giving us the rights to be able to run a paid search campaign on your brand name in combination with other keywords. So that could be coupon, discount, promo, or on the review side, reviews, content, whatever you can think of best. So that's kind of what TM Plus is in a nutshell. It's running a paid search campaign on the major networks, bidding on a brand name in combination with other keywords.
Awesome. Simple,
Yeah.
easy to understand, hopefully for our listeners. Here's the question that we often get. Why would I want to give you access to my brand terms? I've spent, millions of dollars, a decade or more building that brand up. Why would I want to give that to you?
Definitely. And we get that question all the time, and with apprehension too, you know what I mean? Because like you said, it's like, I always tell people, like, don't give it to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, have like a couple or even just one trusted affiliate that's going to be bidding on your terms, because you don't want to give it to everyone. Because it is super, important, because you've worked to build up that recognition there. But where it really comes into, importance is, a lot of times, especially on coupon terms, a lot of consumers are looking for a third party, and even on review as well, looking for a reputable third party. Like, if you're the only one that's bidding on your coupon terms, then, like, let's say Nordstrom coupon, and Nordstrom's the only one that's popping up, and an advertiser clicks through and maybe they get just taken to either like your sale page or your home page. A lot of consumers like have been kind of programmed to look for coupon sites, because what they're thinking is, I'm going to get the best deal possible. Like, these coupon sites have like gone through the internet, and found the best offers that are available. And a lot of times too, we see crazy high conversion rates whenever there's actually a promo code. So a lot of like advertiser websites, they might just, like I said, take you to their homepage or take you to their sale page. And that's not really what the consumer's looking for. They're looking for, they want the gratification of finding that 15% off, finding that like TCC 15, copying and pasting that promo code into the website, and then seeing that in their shopping cart being dropped off. It's like a weird gratification thing. And, it makes consumers really happy. And a lot of times too, especially with coupons, like it increases, it decreases shopping cart abandonment. Obviously, that's a huge part. But also too, it increases the chance that, maybe a new consumer, new person to your site is actually going to test you guys out, because they're getting a great offer. It's like a little less risky in their mind. But yeah, there's a lot when it comes to the benefits of like working with a TM Plus partner. But like the key things, I think, is one, being able to control the search space. As an advertiser, you can only really run one paid search ad. So let's say if you're in the top position, you might have two competitors right below you. And who knows, they might be offering way better deals than you in their ad copy. Mm-hmm. So you might be losing a lot of traffic. And the thing is, you're kind of pigeonholed because you can't run another ad. You can only run the one to your domain. So where a TM Plus partner comes in is we can bid to P2, to position 2 on the page, and push your competitors or people that you don't want to be bidding on your terms out of those top positions. So that's like a huge factor. And then the second part, which might be a question later, but a lot of the organic stuff that's showing up on the page too, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, if, or I have all these other organic coupon sites showing up, like, why should I give you TM Plus bidding rights when I have all these other guys that are showing up organically? And it's because, and this is huge, like, this is like the main thing, is that you can't control the messaging they're pushing. You know what I mean? Because you, at the end of the day, you don't really, you might or you might not have an affiliate partnership with them. You might be joined in the network with them, but you might not. But also too, because you're not giving them anything, they could say 60% off when that's not even an offer you have, or they could be, scouring the internet and finding something from an influencer. And so all of a sudden you have like Melinda 15 or something, and that's not even coming from the right channel, and you can't control it because you don't have the relationship with them. So really, and also too, and it's a crappy consumer experience. You know what I mean? If they go through and they enter in a promo code, or they're thinking they're going to get 60% off, and then they don't, when the consumer does that, that's bad for your brand. So, we're held to the fact that, like I said, we're only paid on those conversions. So we're only going to advertise coupons that work and that are approved by you, because otherwise we're not going to get paid. But yeah, so those are like the two main things, when it comes to TM Plus, is just being able to have more control over a space that you might not if you're just doing it on your own.
And that's such a huge thing right now. And there's, when COVID happened, our company went through planning. And one of the things we reviewed was the Stockdale principle, which is, you got to get to reality. And the reality is right now, those people who are successful, they get to the reality, good or bad, and understand it. And the reality is you have to control as much as you can. Mm-hmm. And there are several very large affiliates who we're negotiating with right now that you don't have a whole lot of control. And that organic area can be populated even if you don't work with them.
Yep.
And you don't want to pay a commission. They will still rank and they can say whatever they want, and their consumer generated content can be completely garbage. It'll still show up. So this is a way to control as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. And a huge part of that too is, especially on our side, one thing that makes us hugely different on the Coupon Co is, like I said, we only get paid on the sales we drive. So we're not going to advertise your competitors on the page, or we're not going to be running an AdSense campaign where American Express banners are popping up all over the page. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's because that's where a lot of affiliates make their money. You know what I mean? Because they're capitalizing on your search volume organically, right? They've put you throughout their pages like in sneaky ways, so that way they show up organically. But then they're taken to a page where the coupons maybe aren't valid, or there's deep discounts that you don't want to be promoting. And then there's American Express over there, and there's, Old Navy and all these other different shops that you don't want to be losing traffic to them.
Yeah. Lots of leakage.
Yeah.
In others. And so walk me through so you go to brand plus coupon. Someone clicks on that. Where does that go to? Just briefly, how does that work?
Yeah, so that'll be taken to a designated page for that merchant on the Coupon Co. That'll only feature the coupons that are for that brand. Like I said, it's very clean and clear what action we want the consumers to be taking. But a lot of times, and this is what we're trying to kind of really focus on, this year and also in 2021, is building out the content on our site so we can actually start showing up organically a little bit as well. Just to kind of get that added reach. But yeah, we have a huge new blog section that we're pushing out, which is fantastic. I've been asking for it since I joined the biz dev team. I'm I think it was last conference, ASW, I was I'm going to make Coupon cool. Cause I was tasked. That's when I had first been tasked to take over the channel. So I was I'm going to make it awesome. And that's what I'm trying to do really, is kind of break down the barriers, break down the reservations, and then also be able to build out, show that we're not just another coupon site. Yeah, we can drive sales. Yeah, we're going to see crazy high conversion rates and average order values. But we have content too. We have content and we have the reach of potential organic as well as the other channels. Look at us, as a whole picture.
Yeah. And so on the buyersguide.org, a huge chunk, the vast majority is from generic terms. On coupon.co, do you know it would seem most of them are very targeted, branded SEM terms and not as generic.
No, yeah, it's all going to be TM plus. That's why it's so easy to work with us on that side of the business. And that's why I said we can pretty much take any client under the sun, is because literally all we need is TM plus approval. Whereas on the buyer's guide side, you're going to have to, we have to figure out if you're able to, compete on the page and all of these different things. Whereas since all of our TM plus campaigns are treated individually on the Coupon Co., we can get it up and going, and it's super fast too, because we don't have to build out as much, we're just pulling the coupons, from the network or from the advertiser. So it's super easy to get up and going. I usually say 2 to 3 days, but sometimes my operations team has it up the following day. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you said third-party validation. Now, so that our listeners can understand this, I have done a ton of online shopping this year, more than I've ever done before. Probably because I'm not allowed to leave my house. Yeah. And I have found myself, I search for something. My kids and my wife and I, our family's really into horses. So sometimes there are big brands we're working with and sometimes really small shops. And I see a coupon, I will actually go and see if that's actually valid. Is that the third party validation, or is it, are you looking for a third party to validate more than just the coupon exists and works?
I think it's both. Because what I first initially meant was that, a brand might not necessarily, like in the consumer's mind, like a brand might not necessarily like be providing you with the best deal available online. You know what I mean? Like they might just be, taking you to their sale page and then saying it's 60% off, but it's just, their sale items or whatever. And I think in a lot of consumers' minds, what they're looking for is a third party, like outside of the brand. So that would be us, the Coupon Co. And providing them with a list of all of the coupons that we're featuring. So and granted, they are validated, by a third party, which is us in the network, but also too, like the validation in that, I didn't just go to the advertiser's site and take whatever offer, they want me to use. I went to, a third party like the Coupon Co. that's separate from the brand, that's providing me with all of the potential availables. Like it's a weird psychological thing, but I think consumers are looking for gratification or whatever, in that, this site has provided them with any of the coupons that are available online, not just necessarily what the brand wants you to convert on. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense.
Cool.
I can see from the advertiser's perspective, just a little struggle with, some of these offers we want to maintain integrity on because that's how we're tracking how this channel performs or that channel performs. Do you guys, we talked about control of the brand in using TM Plus to really control the brand. I assume that by working with you, the advertiser can control what is available on Coupon Co.
100%. Yeah.
Okay,
so in that regard, yeah. So, but like I was saying, like the consumer thinks that is, but a lot of times if we have a TM Plus partnership with someone, we're not going to just be like, 100% off. You know what I mean? Like we're going to make sure that it's something that the brand
I like that offer.
Can you imagine? But yeah, it's something that the brand wants. And the thing is too, is that even if, we do pull something in from, well, we can like set it up so that way we can say like only featuring, offers that are available in the network. But even let's say there ends up being an offer in the network that the advertiser doesn't feel comfortable with, we can take it down in like a second.
Gotcha.
So it's super easy and super flexible. And then, yeah, or even if, a lot of times, even if they don't have coupons, what we can do, I highly recommend like having some kind of coupons, just for that sake. But we can do like free shipping if they have free shipping, or we could do, it's crazy, but like for some brands, like current specials, which will just even take them to, their homepage with like not an actual offer, it'll still convert, which is insane. It kind of goes contradictory to what I was talking about, but even if I just don't want to shut down any brands. So even if like they don't have coupons available, we can do different things, or we have some, where we just focus on value propositions, for the brand. So it might be like, like $250 jackets, like blah, 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 blah. And we can even like promote that and push that out, and we'll still see conversions.
Gotcha. Now, who wouldn't this work for? Like what type of advertiser, is there a demographic or a way that they work that this sort of arrangement doesn't work for?
The only thing that I can think of is like the hiccups that we've been having to deal with Google's restrictions. So now it's kind of frustrating, but Google doesn't allow CBD brands anymore. So like CBD, hemp, e-cig, vape clients. We've had to push them all to Bing because Bing is still running them. Fingers crossed that it stays because they're doing well over on Bing. But yeah, so we've had to shut that down for Google, which has kind of stunk. And then also like firearms is another one that is a little bit tricky. So if the brand like, but then again, we run some like you should see the stuff that comes across our plates sometimes. Like we'll all kind of like joke. We're like, oh wow, like I didn't know that existed. But it's fun and it keeps it interesting. But yeah, there's really no limits, and you'd be surprised because sometimes we'll get the argument like, oh, we're a luxury brand. We don't want to be associated with a coupon site. But how you have to really,
that's a big one. Yeah,
how you have to view it is like you're not discounting your brand. You are potentially exposing yourself to a completely new audience. You know what I mean? Because like, at least for me, I might not buy like a Michael Kors bag unless I have a deal on it. You know what I mean? And then who knows, I might become super brand loyal or eventually have enough money to be able to buy as many Michael Kors bags as I want. So it's exposing potentially an audience. And that's how, if you're a good marketing manager, like, that you have an audience that's going to pay full price potentially, but then you also have an audience that, a trial audience, that wants to try you out, but it just needs that tiny little push. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be like a huge discount. A lot of times it can be something tiny, and like a lot of consumers will just be like super excited that they're even getting that, and then try out your brand. And then, they might start wearing that bag around town. And like, it's like a lot of different things, there's like a trickle effect into how, not worrying about, that part, your brand being viewed as being discounted. That's not how you should be viewing it. You should be viewing it as giving the opportunity to try, for a lot of new consumers, to try something that they might not have been able to at full price.
Yeah, I bought my wife a Coach purse the last time I was in Vegas, which seems like 2 decades ago. And it was only earlier this year. Yeah. And I had a discount. I got a discount on it. They took care of me. Even the individual salesperson at that store called me last week to let me know that there was another offer if my wife wanted another purse. Now, I am not a good purse chooser, so I didn't take advantage of it, but totally loyal to them.
Yeah,
how they took care of us, how that so that can happen. So great answer. Let's see. I have a couple other questions. So, do you need a minimum time commitment as far as TM Plus or direct or the review site? Does an advertiser have to commit for a certain amount of time?
Nope. That's one thing that we kind of pride ourselves on is the fact that we can just, not only are we quick to get things up and running, especially on the direct and coupon side, because we don't have to build out as much content. But no, there's no minimum requirement. So I mean, sometimes like there'll be miscommunication sometimes between teams, and they're like, wait, actually I need to run this by my boss. So, we can just go ahead and, either pause. We usually pause the campaign in hopes that it'll come back on, in the near future. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. There's no minimum time requirement, and there's no like contracts or anything. Everything's just through the network, which makes it super easy.
So no other restrictions around how to work with you, how to work with Wickfire.
Nope. We're super easy. And like I said, if you see a coupon you don't want featured, or you don't want us to be bidding on specific keywords, like let's say, you have a huge initiative around just like your brand and the word coupon, we can just exclude that from our campaign and, negative match it. So that way we're not showing up. We're super flexible.
Gotcha. And that flexibility, I think, is something I want to highlight, because that every advertiser has different concerns, different levels of risk that they want to take, different ROI considerations, and knowing that you guys can work around all of those things, I think is something I definitely want to highlight. So for clarity's sake, around TM Plus, what are the costs involved? Are they paying, if they're familiar with SEM, they're familiar with they're paying for that ad click. What are the costs for working with you on TM Plus?
So it's just sales, which is fantastic. So we're the ones that are fronting that paid search cost. We're the ones that are really taking the risk at the end of the day, because if we see, crazy high click-through rates on our ads, so we're paying for all those clicks, the advertiser never sees that. Which is fantastic. They're only going to see the sales that convert. So overall, we're able to see a huge amount of, we're able to reach a huge amount of people. But let's say the majority of that audience, doesn't end up converting. The advertiser doesn't even have to concern themselves with that. Like, that's our problem. They only have to really concern themselves on that, and they're already making the sale on it. So, and we're able to work at, their base commission rates. So whatever they feel comfortable with in the network. If we end up, needing more money, let's say the clicks are outrageously expensive or something, or the campaign's killing it and we just need more money to be able to spend more money, then that's something that we can discuss down the line. But yeah, we're able to work at base commission rates and only get paid on the sales driven.
Gotcha. So I have a couple questions that we get often, our affiliate managers get from clients. So I want to sort of rapid fire you a couple.
I'm ready.
Feel free to answer as detailed as you can. So here's one. We don't want you to outbid our in-house ad or drive up costs. How do you avoid this?
So we can one, make sure that we're working with you guys on the keywords that we are bidding on, to make sure that we're all in alignment there. Two, we can implement a max bid cap. So let's say the advertiser's in-house team is paying $1.25. So we'll just make sure that we're bidding below that. So that way their costs don't go up. So whatever they want, we could bid to P2 or P3 or wherever, if they have a reseller in the space, they want us to only be bidding to P3. We can do that too. And that's all with, max bids.
Gotcha. So you're definitely going to work with the advertiser, to make sure this happens. I've often told our clients this, and that's one of the big things. So awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. I think you've really already answered this one, but the benefits of bidding on TM Plus keywords with you versus only doing it in-house is that we talked about controlling the search space and also organic stuff that shows up. You really have no control over this. This can get another ad spot in there and paint a better picture of your brand.
Definitely. Yeah. And we see a lot of times too, even if we've done some analysis in that, a brand might be bidding on those terms. And then I'll ask, or provide to them oh, well, this is the conversion rate that we're seeing. And they're like, whoa, okay, maybe we even just let you take it over because they're spending a lot of money and maybe not seeing the return that they want. So sometimes I'll even say hey, let us take the coupon stuff because we're seeing a 45% conversion rate and you're seeing 15. You're wasting a lot of money on this traffic. So that's always an option too. And we're more than ready to supply that data too.
Awesome. Okay, here's another one. What if we don't offer coupons?
So for that one, like I kind of mentioned before, we can focus on value propositions to the consumer. So, like I said, if you have a specific product that you're really wanting to push, we can test that out. The cool thing about the coupon code is that, like I said, the coupons are dynamically resorting. So if we post something and it stinks, it'll drop to the bottom of the page, and then my team will be able to come in and be like, oh, okay, we're going to remove that guy because that didn't do well. So we can test even featuring specific products or featuring, like I said, current specials, daily deals. And our algorithm will go through and make sure that the best performing even of those, is showing up at the top of the page and we'll still see conversions on it.
Great. And I've actually not encountered an advertiser, even when they say we don't do coupons. There's still a coupon.
There's something
still
free
somewhere.
shipping or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that they can use. Now, if they really are that unicorn that does not offer any coupons, can you work with them in any of the three areas that you guys function in?
We could work with them in all three if they wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, we could still work with them on
coupon definitely helps.
Yeah. I mean, a coupon will definitely help, especially exclusive coupons help out quite a bit. But yeah, we can still, like I said, you don't necessarily need to have a coupon to be even featured on the coupon code. And then there's the other channels as well. So there's a lot to do.
Okay. So does an advertiser have to give you an exclusive coupon code?
No, but we've actually been doing some research on this and seeing how, maybe during a specific time we had an exclusive coupon, and the thing is, it doesn't even have to be a different percentage off. It could still be 5%. But for whatever reason, the consumer really likes being able to copy and paste that specific code, TCC or Wickfire or Fire 15, and having it be associated with the coupon code. We see a crazy high conversion rate versus, even if we have a 5% off and then there's no code featured. It's something about the consumers just wanting to enter in that promo code and wanting that bottom line to drop. There's something about it.
I've always done that with radio ads. If I heard of something I'm going to purchase from a radio, a talk radio show or something, or a podcast, I want to make sure they get credit for it.
I'm the same
and maybe
way.
that's because you and I know how the sausage is made. So, but I wonder if there's something involved with the consumer. They're like, well, inherently they know somehow they're tying this back and they want to make sure they use this particular code.
I think that the consumers are a lot more educated now than they used to be. When it comes to that, we used to get away with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? When it came to being able to track stuff, even with, paid search ads and everything like that. But I think that the consumers are becoming more and more aware of that fact. And they are willing to give credit where credit is due because they kind of have a base understanding oh, they're obviously getting a commission on this,
They know now.
Yeah.
So, okay, last question that I have. If I have a very active in-house team that's very wary of working with a TM Plus affiliate, how do you alleviate those concerns?
And we definitely get that a lot, especially if the team, if like they have a really, robust paid search team in-house. A lot of times we'll just, reiterate the fact that we can use max bids. Let us know exactly what keywords you want us to be bidding on, even at that. And then if there's still apprehension, like I'm more than happy to get on a call and talk through everything, let them know what my prerogative is, like what I'm going to be doing. And then also too, like any data that they might need, if they need me to pull what our absolute top impression share is, and it better be close to 0. So that way we're showing up, below their in-house ad. I'm willing to pull that data, after a month. So that way we can prove like, hey, we worked with you on this. And we played by the rules. And that's really, what it is at the end of the day is just reassuring that we're going to play by the rules. We're not going to do anything shady, Yeah. So that, any like reluctance or whatever, I'm more than happy to get on a call with an in-house SEM team and show them I'm okay.
Awesome. That's great. A lot of people look at the channel and they don't think that's a possibility. They don't think they can get on and talk about the data with their affiliates because of the view that they have. And you're definitely demonstrating that, not afraid of that. That's a general way that, you guys work.
Yeah.
And you want to work that way. That's awesome. So are there any other questions I should be asking you that I haven't?
I could look through my list, but I feel like you've hit pretty much everything I wanted to, kind of debunk on this call. So
I think you did a really, really good job. Now, if anyone wants to get in touch with you and talk about this or Wickfire, what are the best ways for them to get a hold of you?
So I'd say you could probably just reach out. We have a kind of a generic partners@wickfire.com email address that they can message, or you could also just reach out directly to me. My name is a little complicated. It's CHELSEAH at the end @wickfire.com. So you could just shoot me an email, and honestly, never think that, any client's too small, or, you're not sure if we can make things work. We can probably make something work. So just shoot me a note, and then I'll bring in whichever parties I need to get things up and going, make sure, see if there's an interest on the buyer's guide side. And yeah, we can kind of put together like a little bit of a customized strategy for whoever would like.
Awesome. Well, Chelseah, thank you so much for your time today. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I think it's one of the meatiest in terms of content and explanation. Really, thank you for sharing your time with us today. And I'll include links to Wickfire and those email addresses in our show notes. But thank you so much. I look forward to us and my teams continuing to work together with Wickfire. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to get together soon.
Wow. Thank you, Chelseah, for this conversation and really sharing so much on what Wickfire does. So one of the things that I want to highlight is there are 3 different ways they can drive traffic through the affiliates. Their review site, buyersguide.org. They're direct. They can actually operate as an SEM agency where you only pay for the sales that actually happen. That amount of value is tremendous. This is what the affiliate channel does. And then coupon.co and Trademark Plus bidding. What I really want to highlight, though, is 80% of the traffic to the review site is generic traffic, much of which you as an advertiser wouldn't be able to convert profitably anyway. So a really great avenue for you to get through. Very little risk and just some awesome stuff. So if you do want to get in touch with Chelseah and Wickfire, partners@wickfire.com, and then Chelseah@wickfire.com. We will include that in the show notes. Again, Chelseah, thank you so much for this hour. I know it's very, very busy right now. Thank you. And for our listeners, definitely check this out. If you need help or you have questions, just email us at gethelp@JEBCommerce.com. And if you found this informative and you know someone who should listen to this, definitely forward this episode on. You can, we would love a review on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher, on all those areas. We would love a 5-star review, and definitely share it socially. So if you'd like to be a guest, if you have an idea for a guest, please let me know. You can also email me at gethelp@JEBCommerce.com. So thank you for sharing an hour of your week with me this week. I hope 2021 is fantastic. Make sure you're safe as things change over this year to come, that you roll with it. So if you need any help, make sure you reach out to us at JEBCommerce.